Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. If you've been viewing me for a while, I posted a number of videos maybe a year and a half ago, and I talked about how a few hours congressional representatives actually spend working, if you can call what they do working, because we know they don't read the bills that they sign into law. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what do they do? Well, they have staffs that send out form letters. We know they do that. And we know that they campaign a whole lot. And we know that they live a fairly comfortable lifestyle. That's what we know. We also know that out of a 365-day year, they're supposed to work around 90 days. 90 days. One of the many boondoggles that they have is when they take their break around August. And I've done a number of videos on why they used to take those breaks, and that was because it became stiflingly humid in DC during the latter part of August and beginning of September. But that was before the air-conditioned Congress. You know when Congress was air-conditioned? 1938. The problem is that they've sort of gotten accustomed to taking all that free time off and doing nothing for that period of time, which is about a month. And if you take into consideration all of their other free time and all of their holidays, once again, it's about 90 days, 80, 90 days a year that they're working. And when they're working, they're not really working. How can they work if they don't read the bills? That all has to change, folks. They live enough of an elitist life, being the 1%ers, with the kind of money that they get for doing nothing. It has to change. The American people that pay taxes, the average American person that's fortunate enough to be employed, usually works 50 weeks a year. 50 weeks a year. So he or she can pay their taxes so these elitists that do nothing in Congress can continue to enjoy the lifestyle that they live. You want to look into a whole lot of other factors too, like their ability to do insider trading. It isn't illegal for them to do it. That's how so many of them amass such large fortunes. They can also sexually harass and not be held accountable for it. And there's a whole lot of other things that they can do that you can't do because they're the lawmakers. That all has to change. And you need to demand that it changes. The country can't continue to survive when you have lawmakers that don't read the bills that they pass into law. There also has to be an investigation into how Obamacare got passed. I've made countless videos on how that fraud was committed by Harry Reid. And why that isn't prosecuted blows my mind. Why the Speaker, John Boehner, didn't object to what Harry Reid said was in fact a bill that was approved by the House, when the bill that was approved by the House was once again a tax credit for military housing. Harry Reid substituted all those documents with Obamacare. Unbiased fraud. Why didn't the Supreme Court take that up? Why did Justice John Roberts say that it can be taxed when that tax was not initiated in the House, and only the House can tax? I could go on and on and on. But none of it matters until you, the American people, demand change. We need to put together a comprehensive list of the changes that we expect. We need to demand that all congressional representatives are drug tested. I've made comments on this numerous times. They also have to pass lie detector tests. They also have to pass security clearances. Anyone that runs for the Oval Office has to pass all of those prior to being a serious candidate. Because once he or she is elected, like in the case of this usurper, He holds the highest security clearance in the country. This guy couldn't pass to cut the grass at the White House, with his background being what it was, or what it is. Folks, this is your country. Let's take it back. Let's take control of the future of this country for our children and for our grandchildren. It's not going to happen if we sit back and ignore it. And enough Americans came out to vote. Whether it's 1/3 or 1/4, I don't care. We accomplished what needed to be accomplished. Now we need to hold our congressional representatives' feet to the fire. And we need to demand all the changes that I made mention of. Someone needs to lead the charge. It won't happen by itself. And unless we have drug testing of all of our congressional representatives, and unless they work a 49, a 50-week year, and unless their compensation goes in line with the American people's, and they're no longer the elitists, there's a whole lot of work to be done. Let's begin doing that work. It's all up to you, folks. I can't do it alone, and nor can you, but together we can.